Check, check, check. This thing. What's up, Ricky? How you doing, man? How you doing today? Rena, good to see you. The regulars are here. Glad to see it. Got some new people, maybe. Ralph, good to see you. Good evening. Let's give it a few minutes here. Let people roll in. Denise, good to have you. So hopefully tonight, I'll say it again later. Hopefully there's a couple of you that aren't too shy and you want to go over one of your trades. Basically, just maybe we can talk about, hey, I entered here, I stopped out here for a loss, or maybe I entered here and I sold for a winner, but how can I hold longer kind of thing. And so that's kind of the goal of tonight. Um, there's not a lot of slides, if I'm being honest. There's like 6 or 8 because it's basically just me showing you some trades that I took this week, my theory and thought process behind it, but I don't want to make it about me. I want it to be educational. So hopefully a few people speak up. If not, the back half just might be some charting then because we got an hour to fill. But hopefully when I show you guys some of these things, it'll be a little bit of an eye opener if you haven't attended one of these classes before. But just gonna give it 1 or 2 more minutes, guys. All right. Well, we got 29 people. 29 people are going to be a little bit smarter than they were because you attended. So glad to have you guys here. For those of you guys that don't know me, yep, we'll go over that one. Coin call, definitely can go over that. For the guys that don't know me, Discord name is Startedwith1k. I'm one of the support members here. I try and do this lecture once or twice a month. I think it's really important. Some of it might seem obvious, but like I said, hopefully there's a light bulb moment for some of you guys here on how you can trade the chart, trust what's in front of you, and not the money or the percent that's on the line, whether it's red or green, to just try and keep your emotions in check, and really kind of show you guys basically how to use an options chart. We get into that. I'm not sure if for you Robinhood traders, I'm not sure if that's possible on there. If not, and if this is something that really interests you guys, then whenever you're in a play, just send me a message, DM or on trade floor, just say, hey, I'm in this play. If SPY goes up to here, about what would my contract price be or something like that, or we can go over a chart together, or River, or anyone that trades or scalps quite a bit, that you trust to give an answer to. They can definitely help you with it. But like I said, I want you guys to focus on the levels in front of you. I have a really good example of QQQ. I think you seen me hit that yesterday, and I posted in staff trades. I'm going to go over that in detail again. Not because it's a big winner, but because it respected levels so well. And it's a very, very easy example to use. And the things I talk about today, it's going to vary a little bit. If you're in a 0 DTE that expires in 2 hours versus if you're in something that expires in 2 days or 5 days or a week. And so, but yeah, so basically today, guys, tonight, selling profit, taking profit, sell for a loss or a win or whatever it is, and basically, why it matters, and how to avoid it stopped me out only to make the move. We see this every day in trade floor. People get in something and they get a sell down on a candle that doesn't fill. It stops them out and makes a big move, and they're angry, and they either jump in and chase or they don't chase, and they're upset about it. It happens to all of us. It's happened to me. But basically, yeah, just get in the mindset of using the chart, not the money in front of you. Hopefully some questions at the end and some examples. I see a few in the chat that I definitely want to go over. That'd be really good. And there's a little bit of time, maybe some charting at the end. But let's dive in. So first, an example of SPY. We see it a lot. And, if you notice, if you ever live trade with Flips or something, he's going to say, I'm entering SPY calls here, 20% stop loss. So he's probably doing it for one of two things. He's telling you a 20% stop loss because he and we all in here are trying to preach, risk management. Don't have an 80% loss on stop. Keep a stop that's reasonable and manage your position. And the other part is probably, he doesn't want to handhold. He wants to teach you guys. He gives you the entries. He tells you what he's seeing. But from there, it's up to you guys to manage the trade. And so, if you guys have another job and say you get called into a meeting, you're like, well, I'm break even, I'm up 5%. Obviously, I don't want to lose all my money on this. That's where it's okay to set a stop loss, just around 20% to protect you. I get that. But if you're actively in the trade and you just set a stop loss 20% based on feelings or based on that's what people tell you, I found a really good example today of why it can burn you and why I want you guys to trust the chart, but also be mindful of your entries and exits. So let's focus on this blue candle here. This is SPY. This is the 5-minute chart. Let's focus on this blue candle here. So say you entered somewhere inside this down candle here. So this candle here at 7:30 my time, which is 10:30 West Coast, this is the value of the 506 call. Okay, guys. So say you entered somewhere in this candle. I marked a line here just to make this easy. Say you entered at $63. So you entered somewhere inside this candle and you said, you know what, 20% stop, 20% stop. I don't want to risk any more than that. Okay. So this candle closes here. It opens here, and at some point it pushes up. At another point it dips. and it comes and it closes here. So obviously it did not close down here, but let's take a look at where 20% is and why. I'm not going to say it's a bad thing, but why you need to just play the chart. And if you enter somewhere, why you need to ask yourself, okay, is 20%, does that make sense? Is it a reasonable level? Am I stopping out at support? Because obviously we can see here, you buy in this 5-minute candle here, 20% stop, you wick down, it stops you out, and it makes this huge move here. And you're probably angry, you're punching the wall, whatever's happening, you're probably not very happy. So you enter here at 0.63, 63 bucks. Look at the stop loss here, 20.63. So you're saying if I enter at $63, my stop out is 50 bucks. I'm willing to lose $13. That's my 20% stop. I entered it, that's what I want. And look what it does. It wicks you down right here into this zone here, all this zone here. I'm gonna color this different color just so we can kind of keep track of stuff, but let's just make it orange. Let's make it big so we can kind of see where we're at. So it wicks you down, it buys you up, it stops you out. This is one example of play the chart in front of you and not a stop loss. And I bet, look at that wick right there lines up perfectly with this sell down yesterday into this consolidation zone. So you basically bought in between two levels, this upper range here, but you sold at support. The old joke of I sold calls, I stopped out at support. This is what we want to avoid you guys doing. And like I said, if you got to enter a trade and you're just like, hey, like I said, I got to go to a meeting, I got to do something else, that's fine. Protect your portfolio. But if you're in this trade, this is where I enter a trade. And I kind of use the term, or you hear River say a mental stop. We sell down. Yes, it gets ugly on red 20%, but this candle does not close down here. If we close down here and we start selling down into it, like if we close down in here and we get this action, it's a stop out. But this is where you guys want to look at the options chart and say, you could have even entered here and look at this and go, okay, if I enter 1, 2, 3, 4 candles before, what is roughly that price there? So you enter here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Roughly, you got to tell yourself, hey, this candle here is this candle here. So this is the options chart, the 506 call. If you enter somewhere here, you have to say, hey, this dipped down here and bounced. If we come down here again, that's roughly 56 bucks. Okay, if we break under that, you kind of know your stop loss, but just a random percent chart or random percent on the chart is ways that it can really burn you guys. So that's just a quick example I took, I wrote down, but I want to go over another one. I kind of want to go over this one in detail because, like I said, it was such a clean trade for me. I didn't really see any red. I mean, it saw some red, but I didn't stop out by any means. But so this is Tuesday, yesterday, obviously, and Monday. This is a 1-hour chart here. There's several things I want us to focus on. We were pushed in this range, and we were kind of in this candle here at 8:45 my time. QQQ 436, 37, 436. All these levels. I say if bears take it down, bulls need some close over 437 to make me feel better on the call side. Okay, I'm not talking percents here. I'm not talking percent winning losers. I'm talking about levels here. And so if we look on the 1-hour chart here, I heard River say it last night that ranges kill people because they wait for these big breakouts. You might be buying calls up here and you're waiting for a huge breakout over here, but it's like we break over, but we get smacked down all last week. And so we have this range here, 437.7. I'm just going to call our ceiling. And then our lower zone, obviously, I mean, you'll see in a minute, I didn't hold for this, but 435.44. I put it in bold because that's a huge level. 436 is a huge level round number. And so again, this is the 1-hour chart here. Focus on some wicks here that I circled. 435.80, some wicks here. 436.38 level. Again, wick here, 435. So let's focus on this level when I zoom in here on a tighter time frame, just to show you guys. All right. I'm gonna break this down for you guys on how I traded this. Again, not because it was a good winner, but because I want to show you guys stop losses, profit targets, what I do, why I do it. So again, 437.7 is this top range here. Let's look at this zone here. So this is the 5-minute chart. We push up, we reject, we push up, we reject. We're now building a trend, and we have an opening range set. So props to River, if you ever watch his opening range classes, or last night, we have an opening range set. We're trending down. I see this, what I call a kill candle. I see this candle here on the 5-minute that pretty much engulfed all this price action here. That's a big sell candle here. It's kind of cut off, but there's also a big spike in volume here. So everyone following that so far? There's a big kill candle here. So I entered somewhere on, I want to make sure I tell you guys right. I think we sold down here, we pushed, and I got my entry somewhere around here, which is 118 or $118. And so looking at the options chart again, $118 is my entry. So again, the price of SPY going down, this is a put. So this is the option chart of a 436 put. So this chart is going to go up in value when SPY goes down. So follow me here. So I entered. I knew that this morning low, I didn't expect it, but I knew it was a possibility. It's always a possibility. If you wait for the opening range to be set and we trend down, you always look to left to see where are my profit zones? Where are my potential zones here? This wick here, this lower zone, 436 and 436.80. Okay. Remember, going back to this chart, why did I call out 436.38, 436, 435.5? 436.38 was this wick right here. So I knew if we sold down, this was a hard wick. You have to expect a bounce here. You do not hold a full position, get greedy, and think we're going to get all the way down here. You trim. If you're in one contract, you take it here, or you set stops over entry and you let it play out. But this was a 1 day till expiration. I bought on Tuesday at the time. It expired Wednesday, which would be today, but this is a yesterday play. So again, I entered at 118. This is my risk ratio. I was willing to risk 17%. Okay, where is 17% at? Let's look again at the options chart. So this low here of those puts is this zone here. So this little cup and curve here is what you're looking at here. So anyone looking at the options chart. And again, everyone following along and can see why using the options chart with you is a powerful tool. I didn't just say, hey, 20% stop. I said, if I enter somewhere around here and we break over, I'm willing to risk 17% of my investment. So I entered at $118 and I said, hey, if we sell down here, again, I didn't know if we would, but my risk ratio, I'm for every one I'm risking, this is my gain, 3.5. So that's a good risk. It's not a 1-to-1. It's not a 1-to-2. It's 1 to 3.5. That's a really good risk ratio. Okay. So we sell down and I secure. So I was in a few of these. What do we do? I entered here. I trimmed here. What is the next thing we do? Someone tell me in the chat. I'm looking for some key things here. Say I was in 4 of them. I sold one here. What am I doing? Stops and profit. Perfect. All right. So entry again, I know I'm repeating myself. Right here was $118. We sell down into this candle here, which I think is this zone here, 136. Okay. So now my stop loss was 20%. Okay. Now I move that stop up just a little bit more. Okay. I move my stop up. I reduce risk. We bounce up. It almost triggered a break-even stop. It would have been that candle, probably that candle there. So I moved my stop up. And to me, I'm trusting the chart. I said, we've rejected 1, 2, 3 times here. I'm playing the downtrend for the day. Okay. We laid down again. 436. Why am I calling 436? That is a round number. 436, you always round numbers, you always sell into round numbers. You got to expect a bounce there. 436 or 100 or 50 or 75, whatever it is, you sell into round numbers. Again, we sell down to here. I think I sold two more. Now what do? We have this big kill candle here. Now, let's see who's got the brains in the chat. If I sold here, I'm giving you a hint. If I sold here and we sold down here, where is my stop loss now? Someone tell me in the chat. So we hit price target 1. I sold two more at 2. Where is my stop? All right, kind of close, kind of good. Yep, exactly. First trim. Okay, so I sold at 436, and now arrow 2 here. Let me delete this. We got a lot of kids crayons going on here coloring. All right, profit 2 at 436 is this right here at 1. I can't see that. We'll call it 170 right here. That's this arrow. No, I think it's this one. Yeah, because this last one is the green arrow. Okay, we'll call it 158. So now this is how you do not lose on a trade. We secured at 136. We sold at 158. Now my stops again are moving up to here. So now I cannot lose. Okay. We consolidate a little bit. Again, a 0 DTE, I don't know if I would have held through this whole thing because, you know, a little bit of decay, even this little decay here, when we sell down here, it's not going to be the same price. But so we sell down and we hit the final target, or at least the final target that I was looking at. I knew this lower zone here, guys, was a big buy zone. I'll show you back on that 1 hour chart in a minute, this 435.44. You know, I could have held into this. You know, I had a gut that we would hit it, but I knew that bounces somewhere around here were going to be big and they're going to be really hard. And I did not want to hold puts into that. And so, again, I sold down. I sold everything at, we'll call it 170-ish, but obviously it did another $30, $35, $40. But my point is, you guys use the levels and use an options chart to your advantage. And so, you know, when you sell and you get excited and you have profit here, you say, okay, now I move my stop. We leg down here. You look at the chart, you can count. So basically a big candle here, 1, 2, 3 back. On the low of that, you know, if we sold here, 1, 2, 3 back, this is your new stop loss. And you move stops and you move stops and you let your winners win. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? How do you set stops on Cilio? This is exactly what we're talking about. Yeah, so you set stops based on the option contract. So I'm not sure if it's not making sense to you, but so basically this chart is moving the same time as this one. It might be confusing because this is going up, but again, this is the value. The value of my put is increasing. So this is a 436 put that is increasing in value when the price of Q goes down. I'll try and find another one for you guys that might be a call. So it makes it easier. So like if it goes up, this goes up. But basically, yeah, you look at your candles and you look at your zones here and you just move stops. Let's see. All right, is that making sense to everybody again? So this wick here, this morning wick, that is why I wanted to get out. This morning wick here is this. And that's why that was my final target, because if you look at something like this, or like this, or like this, huge bounce. This is an hourly candle. So this tells you at one point the price was down here and they bought it all the way back up here and it closed here. That's a hard bounce on a 1 hour time frame. This, look at this. This is a morning sell that opened here. We pushed down and we bought back up there. That's this in a 1 hour candle here. That is a big buyback. That is why this thick arrow here is why I was all out and I was fine with it. Because I said, if we hit this, if we bounce hard and say I was just like, you know what, stops at break even. If I come down to 170 and I get stopped out at 118, that is bad trading. That's 50, 60 bucks on the table you left. That is bad trading. We do not want that. All right, this is just a zoomed in view. Is this making sense to everybody so far? I'm trying to, what's up, Rev? Good to have you here, man. Rudy, it could be mental stop, yes. But for me, that's a good question. I need to be careful how I answer this. I will use mental stops at times when I'm if I'm watching the price action, but once I'm in a winning trade, I set a hard stop, and you'll kind of see sometimes on my alerts or my charts on trade floor, like if I'm in a put, you'll just see a lower bell for an alert, but you won't see an upper because I have a stop loss on, and my stop is either going to trigger or I'm going to secure more profit. And that's my way of just kind of mentally not checking out of the trade, but mentally letting the trade work for me. I'm not going to sit here and watch every 5 minute candle on this trade, even though it's a 1 day till expiration. I'm gonna let the trade do its thing. If I come down here at what do we say, 155, 156, and I have stops at 118, it's either gonna push and I'm gonna hear a bell that I got stopped out, or this, let's just pretend this bell alert trigger was down here. I'm gonna let that start triggering and say, hey, you should check QQQ, it's selling down. And I'm moving into profits again. And so once I'm in profits, I do not use a mental stop. I let the trade work for me. And because sometimes if you're in this trade and say I was in 4, sold 1 here, sold 2 more here, and I got 1 more, I'm like, you know what, mental stop, mental stop. And something happens, I get busy, or we get a hard push here. That's when you get emotional and go, you know what, this push is fake. This push is like, let's pretend that you had no stops and you held through this and you let that trade go red. That is bad trading. Like if you had 118 entry all the way down to 207, and you're like, oh, mental stops, and you let this reverse, that is horrible trading. You never want to do that. And so again, focus on trades like this where you let, another key thing I want to point out is I let the opening range, which would be 8 o'clock roughly. So everything in this zone here, can't draw this really good. So for me, it's 90 minutes, 8 o'clock. So this is the opening range is set. And when we reject, I have all this to work with here that lets me have a better trade plan, less risk, less stress. I know I have all this information to work with. You know what I mean? If you enter something over here, it's like you don't have much in the morning to work with. You have to look left and rely on a bunch of levels here. So, reducing risks, waiting, that first 9 minutes of the day. This is a trade that I hit, and I hit hard because I knew I had all this in my favor. Yeah, same setups on Thinkorswim is even better, guys. If we got some Thinkorswim users in here, I'm sure we do. On Thinkorswim, I'm slowly moving over to it, but it's a big learning curve. I can actually drag a take profit. Like I can be in this trade and I can drag a take profit. It says if we hit 435.80, whatever the price of this option contract is, will sell for me. So it's even, this is Webull for anybody who doesn't know, but Thinkorswim is even better. You can say, you know what, I think we're gonna come down to this wick here, 435.80. I want it to sell my contract when it hits. Or if we push up to, we'll just call it 437, that is my stop loss on the price of QQQ. Like Thinkorswim is a lot better. Robinhood, yeah, you can't really do that. We got some questions in the chat or some, yeah. Thinkorswim, definitely the way to go. Like I said, I'm slowly moving over to it. But yeah. Yeah, Rev's right. 0 DTs are a little bit harder to keep track of because of time decay. Going back to this, if you hold through a chop, when we come down, the price, you can already see is this price here is that we're kind of sidetracking here, but this price here, this candle, this low is 56. That's this candle. This came to the same spot and it already decayed $6 in 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes. So 0 DTs are a little bit harder because they decay. And so, you got to be kind of be careful with that. Have another example. Again, this is kind of a quicker one. Disney, 108 strike price put. This was, I think, a Monday contract I was in. Again, another thing I want to point out is my risk to reward ratio. My risk, I'm risking 8% on this trade here, 8%. So we push here to this level. This is my 8% risk. This is the 8% on the options chart. And this is my profit target. Again, I didn't know we'd come all the way down here, but if we do, this is my profit target. So same thing, you guys, using the option price chart at an entry at 96, I said I'm willing to lose $8 per contract. So I entered here. A push up here is an $8 loss per contract. And again, using the other market, what it's telling you about that. What we got going here? What's up, Rev? All right. I want another example. SMCI. Haven't heard this name all week, thankfully. But I want to show you guys how you guys can get smoked on stuff like SMCI. I want to go over this quickly. Kind of a two-part thing, the bid-ask spread, and also how it'd be hard to find a stop loss on something like this. So this is SMCI. I think this was Monday. I'm not for sure. I want to show you guys how buying wildly out of the money contracts plus a really wide spread are a recipe for disaster because it is on the topic of this. So we sell down, we make some higher lows here, and we get this kill candle here. Say you want to enter here somewhere in this candle, and you can't buy an at the money contract because SMCI, I don't even know what it's at right now. Let's just see. You don't want to buy an at the money contract because they're $2,000 each, 2,200 bucks for one contract. So you go reckless and stupid and you buy something way out of the money. So it's trading at, we'll call it 852 right now, 852 bucks. And you buy a 695 put. So you buy a put that's $150 out of the money. And you say, you know what? I want to stop if we break over here, but I don't know what my stop loss is. 1K told me look at the options chart. Well, let's look at this. Look at this spread on this. If you market order in on a 695 put, it's going to fill you at 2.75, so $275. And you freak out and you're like, you know what? I don't want to be in this. And you mark it out, it's going to sell you at $1.85. So instantly, that's a $90 loss on a shit spread. Pardon my French, not pardon, I mean it. This is a shitty spread, you guys. Do not trade stuff like this. It's 150 bucks out of the money. You're chasing something, you're chasing the hype, you're chasing what's on Twitter. This is a $90 spread. If you mark it in and out, you're instantly gonna lose $90 on this. This is what you do not want to do on something like SMCI or something with a wide spread. So find a lot of liquidity when you buy something, you guys, because if you're trying to use the options chart, like look how choppy this options chart is. Like you cannot figure out where to sell based on a chart level here. And you're going to panic sell for a loss on stuff on something like this. And so Ralph says guilty. Yep. SMCI, if you got to play it, just, I don't know, I guess wait till Fridays, because you guys have to understand that you're buying a strike that's 150 bucks out of the money. Like how wildly bad and stupid that is. But yeah, I have one more example, but I want to get to a couple. Let me scroll up here. So we're going on the honor system. You guys have the ability to unmute. Cecilio, I think that's how you say your name. Feel free to unmute if you want to go over your trade. Perfect example, I took a 210 call on coin. Let's get this pulled up. We can go over your trade if you want to. If you want to unmute, it'd be great to have some conversation on this.
See, I'm not sure if everyone can hear me or not.
Yep, I got you.
Cool. Yeah, so actually today I was at work, so I ended up doing like you said, and just at like a 20% stop loss initially, but I bought at around 10:30 Eastern time for a fill of 12:30. And that was
10:30
the
Eastern is 7:30 me, right?
yeah, that would be yeah, I'm also on the West Coast, so yeah, 7:30.
Okay. And your
Um
fill, sorry, I'm trying to do this as we talk.
yeah, no
210
worries.
at what was your price you paid?
12 12.3.
Wait, am I in the wrong
Is
coin?
that was for next week's March 8th
Oh, okay.
expiration?
Gotcha. Okay. My bad.
Yep.
Give me 1 second. 210. All right. So I'm gonna draw a line where he entered 12, 12:30.
Yep. And
Cool.
they were up initially. I don't
Okay.
remember
And
what
you
it was
entered on
at.
the seven, I mean cut you off somewhere on the 7:30 candle, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you're right in here somewhere. Cool. And then walk me through. You kind of just like you said, you kind of just had a so he's in, let's see, 7:30, somewhere on that candle. Okay, cool. And then walk me through your trade plan, or you kind of just had a hard stop, you said, that kind of screwed you.
Yeah, just because I couldn't really watch the chart, at
Mhm.
least what I had planned out. And I when I did get a chance to watch it, it was up a little bit. So I
Mhm.
moved my stop into profit. I think I moved my stop to wasn't much, but I think I moved it to 12.55 was my stop.
Okay.
And my take profit was 13.8.
Mhm.
However, I checked it later and then it had stopped me out and sold at 12.25.
Yeah, so probably somewhere down in this zone. Okay. All right. What's that? That's not totally crazy. Like I said, it's better that like I said, you have a stop, because if you said you're busy at work, or whatever, it's like if you hold and see all that profit didn't sell and you come back and you're seeing this, like you're hurting bad. So that's all right. I can do you ever what um program are you on, or what program do you trade on?
Weevil.
We will. Yeah. So if you
Yeah.
do you use the price option chart much, or is this kind of a newer thing to you?
It was all like I had no idea how to use it, honestly.
Yeah. So quickly, I'll
Pretty
go
new to me.
through it. So if you see here, I don't know how small the screen is, but you see your bid and your ask. Um,
Yep.
if you can see this, I also have like a setup page too. So my watch list is in a group, set as group one. This chart is group one, and this option is group one. So basically, if I go to Disney, this changes to Disney.
Okay.
So going back to coin March 8th. So if you click on anything other than the bid and ask, so if you pop on the ask, it's going to say, "Oh, would you like to buy this?" It's like, "No, I don't want to buy this." Anything
Right.
other than the bid and ask. So I would just click on the mid. It'll pull up your option price chart. And so, kind of tying it all together, what we were talking about. So you entered, oh, that's the 200. Yeah. So if you click on the mid, it'll turn it into this for you. And you can kind of see, I mean, obviously it's after the fact, but say you entered here and you're like, okay, what are these wicks down here? So at 7 o'clock our time, you can see 7 o'clock our time, it's roughly 11:21. I don't know if that's your risk profile. If you entered at 12:30 for like, hey, I want to risk, whatever that is, 100, or is that right? What percent would that be if you're like,
I think
that's like a
initially,
9 to 10% risk. So it's pretty small dollar wise. I don't know if it's your risk profile, but yeah, definitely use the options chart, or just tag someone on trade floor or whatever if you want to kind of go about this. But yeah, it's a bummer it stopped you out, because it looked like it paid
yeah,
the 15, so that would have been a nice little
yeah, I was sure it would too. I was sure it would reach
22%
my
move. Yeah.
price target, but yeah, I just couldn't watch it.
Yep. That's tough. I get it. Some people work, they got other things, they got family, and they got stuff like that. So, but yeah, like I said, click on anything other than the bid and the ask on the options chain. And again, you want to link the group. Send me a
Okay.
DM if you need help setting this up. I can show you. But once these are linked, anything I click on this chart, it'll change to that for you. And so that's kind of the not secret sauce, but stuff that people really need to learn on. Hey, I entered at 12:30. We sold down here. These are some big wicks here. And yeah, so dang man, that's a bummer, because that would have paid nice. Because looking
Yeah.
um, because those wicks are right on this support here. That's obviously easy for us to look at afterwards, but yeah, bounce that zone really nice. But yeah, that's another thing. So just, yeah, wrapping up, you entered here. If you're like, hey, where are these wicks at? Where this zone here? Kind of just look left on that chart, pull up that option chain. That should get you in a better spot, trying to get in a habit of using that.
Right on, man. I appreciate it.
Cool. Anybody else want to go over? I'm trying to look. Look at the chart. Anybody else have one I want to go over? Sorry, I'm scrolling. Norben, chart CHTR. Did you take that trade you said? I'm only looking at stuff that you took. What did you take on this? And then Rev, you're on deck. I'll get you in here in a second. Norman, you can unmute if you want to go over this trade. Five, four, three, two, one. All right, you're booted. Rev, you're up. You want to unmute? Would you type it in Rev? I'm an idiot. Oh, you don't want to talk. He's being shy. 106 on what ticker? I'll at least look at it for you. Sorry, I didn't see. Nike. $106 weekly. 23 at 39. Ooh, wow, I got the bottom of this. Wow. Here at 23. That's a nice move, dang. Nice job on that one. And we're using mental stops. What are you doing? Break of, so you probably entered somewhere, break of low of the day, probably. Oh man, that was oof. Stuff like that. Look at that. Look at that play. Oh man, look at that. Triple bottom, quadruple bottom. Good Lord. Man, Rev, why don't you tell people like stuff like this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Man, Rev's just banking, not telling me about these trades. Look at that, man. You always take that trade. All those bounce. Look at that. Always smack calls off that. Nice job, man. Nice work. Yes, Thinkorswim has the same setup, only better. I'm not sure when you joined or missed our conversation, but Thinkorswim, you can hypothetically, if you entered here on Nike and you said, hey, if we break this, I want to sell, you can set your price to sell the contract. I'm not on Thinkorswim, so I don't know how to do it, but ask someone who does. If you say, hey, if we sell into 104.13, I want to sell this call for a loss. Hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, you can set it based on the exact price on the chart. You don't have to estimate like you do on Webull or other brokers. Stuff around there, try again. Yeah, PC, I will see what goes on PC. Helmy, good to have you in here. Anybody else have any other questions? We got 14 or 15 minutes. I can go over another example. I feel like I'm just talking about trades I took though. Actually, I'll go over a loser. I went over a losing trade. PayPal. I took this on, oh man, that hurts. It made the move I wanted today. I took it yesterday. I remember this very well. PayPal, I took yesterday looking for this zone here. PayPal bounced to support zone, was flagging. I took calls somewhere in here. I took the 60 call. I remember it very well. I think I was in it like, Let's see, 228, 227. Yeah, I think I entered here. Yep. So this little flag action here is this zone here. So we were bouncing off the 9, around the 9. I entered here. I want to say, I don't want to pull up my entry. I don't want to log in, but I think I entered 76, I think. And I said my stop is a break of VWAP. So obviously, I admit I wasn't a very good trader on this. I saw a little bit of profit, although it was for maybe 3 minutes. We did push to 82 from, I think, a 76 entry. And I said if we break into or below VWAP, that's my cut. And so I did take this trade 76. I think it stopped me out at 69. So again, 8% loss on that trade. I did take a loss on that. And of course, it made higher lows and it pushed to my target today, which is a bummer. And then today, I said I wanted to fill at 60. I said I wanted to fill right here, 59.58, and it missed my fill by $1. So that's rough, but ain't no crying in this game. Tomorrow's a new day. All right, Norvin, go ahead and unmute QQQ. Come on, man, don't be shy. QQQ.
Yo, what's good, 1K?
What's up, brother? All right, would you walk me through your trade? I need your contract and what you paid.
So I pretty much got in at right at open at the Qs. I seen it was dropping and dropping. I got in like around 631.
So
I bought the 437 QQQ same days calls.
Okay.
I went in and I bought 11 contracts at a fill of the fill was 44 cents.
On a 437 call?
Yeah.
44 cents.
45. In reality, it filled me at 45.
Okay, so we opened, we sold down. I just want to make sure this is correct here. Sold down. QQQ, yeah, okay.
And then those 11 contracts, 5 minutes in, I was playing pretty much a candle break up, and it literally gave me that like the next candle, and those contracts went from 45 to 61. So I sold 10 contracts right there.
Am I in the right thing? Wait, a 437 call? I can't. Today's the 28th, right? I mean, someone correct me if I'm not. I can't see that. Let's see. Huh. All right. So you bought. This is where we open, right? Am I looking at the right thing? It just doesn't seem right on the chart. Huh. And you bought
at the bottom tick. At the bottom tick, that's where I picked them up right there.
Down here. Okay.
Yeah.
45 though? That doesn't make sense unless this chart right here.
No, I got the 437 QQQ calls, same days.
Right. Okay. I mean, no, I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying maybe something's up with this chart here. It doesn't look right. Huh. Okay. So you got it. You got in down here on this pop. I don't know, I'm just going to ignore this chart here because the options chart, because it's not jiving, but that's all right. So you got in down here at 6 something. You said 6:55 our time.
Yeah. No, it was around. In California time was 631, 632. I bought those contracts, 11 contracts.
Oh, like at the open.
At
oh,
the
man,
open.
idiot. I'm sorry. I'm looking like somewhere over here. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you bought the open at 44 and you sold, sorry, at 60 what?
61.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the chat's telling me not to be an idiot. Okay. Oh man, that's a nice open scalp right there. You're
Boom. And then right there, I sold those. And when we came down, I bought another one for, I think it was 36 cents right here at the bottom, at the other candle that's red. I bought some right there. And then we pushed up and I think I sold it for 50 and then 51 and then 52. That's why I closed my last one. I had a stop loss right there.
oh nice, dude. Yeah, I don't have the my blood pressure can't handle playing the open, dude. I wait, you know.
But I
Props
remember
to
what
people who can
River
do it, but I
told
don't do
me.
that,
He was
man.
all like, um, if you're scalping same days, like you can't be holding them for like hours, because they'll just rip you.
Oh yeah, if you buy this thinking a breakout, you buy in at 61, you hold through this, man, you're taking a 70% loss. Like that'll whew, that's I mean, props to people that can play it, but it's like if you place with no stop and you take a 70% loss on a trade, like man, that would ruin my day. So it's not for me, but good job on that, man. Good job. Um, anybody else got something? Come on, somebody took a good trade today. Don't be shy, chat. Come on, someone had to take something, or maybe you got stopped out. I took back-to-back losses on Monday. I have no problems admitting that. Anybody? Shoot, you guys are too shy, man. All right, you guys know what the last slide of the day is. Same thing, always. This is your motivation. Turning into March. $1,000 port, $10,000 port, 5,000, whatever it is, $500. I'm going to go over this over and over and over. 25 bucks a day on $1,000 port. Look where you're at the end of the year, 7 grand. 50 bucks a day on $1,000 port, 13K. 1% a day on $1,000 port, 12 grand. 2% a day on $1,000 port. You can buy a couple cars of that. You can buy a third of a house. Just want to give you guys some motivation. Position sizing on how easy this is. If you have $1,000, $1,500 port, 5% entry or 10% entry, 10% of your port, so 100 bucks, 50 bucks, 25% return. Like, look how easy this is. 12 bucks. 2 of these trades a day, you hit your quote unquote quota for the day. Just some motivation for you guys as you move on through the next month. Finish the week green, even if it's only by $1. Other than that, I don't have much else for you guys. Ralph, you raised your hand. Do you want to unmute? Go ahead if you want to, if you got a question.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I kind of got caught in a late day trade with, I just want to pull it up here. It was with, my goodness, it was with SPY towards the end of the day.
Ooh,
and I set my stop loss and it just dipped and sold it at $130 per contract. It was horrifying at that point. I don't know why I set it so low, but it just took a little dip and then it shot back up.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I guess
going over your contract price and entry. Do you want to go over that, or you not want to talk about it?
Yeah, no, it's we gotta go back to here.
Use it as a learning experience or something. Obviously, after the fact, it's easy to say, "Hey, you should have done this," but we'll look at it together.
Yeah, it was a 506 call.
506 call
for tomorrow, ending tomorrow.
For tomorrow expiration, you said, or same day?
No, for tomorrow. I got to stop doing it the same day because I keep getting caught. It's crazy.
Dude, if you look at any of my lectures, 1 day and 2 day expiration. I'll do same day SPX at the end of the day just for some fun if I got profits, but yeah, I don't do same days during the day. So all right, we're on a 506 call for tomorrow. And where did you enter? What price?
It's so funny because I have sink or swim and it just, for some reason, it looks too complicated, probably because I've been using Robinhood.
Mhm.
They just ask like too many questions when I go to put a stop loss in, and it just seems easier.
Are you sure? Do you want to confirm? It's like, dude,
Yeah. Stop questioning me. I'm trying to do something here. And by the time I
by
do
that
it, it's
time
like,
the thing has moved so far. It's like, damn it.
yeah, and I'm exhausted. I'm not a young person, but it's just I'm trying to trying to make sense of think or swim. And I'm trying to see where would this show me the actual entry. It's so crazy. Because once it's sold, it's showing you order to sell a contract at Tesla 20250. And then I had a 3-1 call in there that was filled too, because I put the stop loss in on both of them. It was crazy. So we'll buy open contract with Tesla at 20250. It was good till March 1st, and that was also sold. So I think I had 3 contracts, and I put the stop loss in and went for all 3 of them, and just took them as soon as they dipped down a little bit. Crazy. And I don't know where to find the data, what you're asking me. That's so funny. Oh, view order. There you go. My goodness. Okay, that would help. My son asked me the same thing. I can never find it on the mobile app, only on the desktop. So yeah, the limit price was 530. It's a 3-1 call. It was filled minutes after I put in the stop loss. So the 20% rule of thumb, like you mentioned, is not always the best route or the safest route or the best trade, right?
Yeah, I mean it'll protect the port, but especially at the end of the day with, you know, movements like this, you get a wick like this, like that's a stop. I'm not gonna call it stop, but that'll stop people out, like you see wicks like that, especially, you've heard River talk about it. Like we're ranging. I mean, it's a fairly big range, but up, down, up, we're not trending like this. When we range like this, like people gotta have realistic profit targets just throughout the day, because it's just they wait for those big winners, they just don't come. They go, man, why did I sell for 4%? Now it's up 3%. It was up 40, so you gotta have those realistic profit targets. But yeah, I guess if that's everything, we can end it today. Here's where SPY closed. We'll see what it looks like in the morning, but I'm gonna keep this trend line here until we break over, get some closes over. QQQ, probably the same thesis. Sold down big, but man, big buy up after a while. Big buy up. See if it holds or not, but yeah, I'll send some charts in the morning to you guys if I got time. But if that's everything, great lecture, guys. I'm glad you guys are here. Hopefully you guys learned something new. Hopefully you learned something interesting. Again, it's not the most exciting topic or subject, but again, using the options chart can really save you some headache and kind of take the guesswork out of everything. So Rena, appreciate it. Sushi, appreciate it. You guys have a good night and a great rest of the week, guys. Let's have a good week. Let's finish strong, all right?